Hello everybody, this is Robert. This is a special thing I'm going to do for Game Show Garbage from here on out. I get called a hater a lot because all I do is talk about bad game shows. I mean, how bad a show is, how bad a host is, how bad a format is, you know, how bad everything bad is. So let's turn the tables a little bit with a special top 5. Why top 5? Well, I'm too lazy to do 10, that's why. So, to kick off these special top 5s that I'm going to do, we're going to talk about the best. That's right, these are my picks for the top 5 best game shows of 2013-2014. Now, there are some rules that I have to lay down. They have to have produced at least some new episodes during the 2013-2014 TV season. That's all they have to do. With that being said, here are my picks for the top 5 best game shows of 2013-2014. My number 5 pick is Guy's Grocery Games. Now, I know I rail a lot on the chopped formula that's been done to death on all of the Food Network shows, but Guy's Grocery Games takes a little detour on it, and it makes me kind of enjoy it a lot more. And that main reason is because it's not mean-spirited. You're not having any cruel intentions happen to you, and it's either mistakenly happening to you if you get like a bad spin when you play that double wheel game, or if you have the bag swap game. With that being said, though, I love the premise of Guy's Groceries Games, especially since it kind of makes the chefs that are competing in the game have to come down to the common folk level, so to speak. You're not going to find jasmine or saffron in the baskets. No, instead they'll have to cook with like frozen peas or like a really cheap cut of meat. And it's what the people watching the shows can really relate to, because this is what we have to do in order to, you know, feed our families. We have to scrimp and save and do all that stuff. And I also like Guy Fieri as a host here. He does have that everyman type of feeling, even though the frosted tip, obnoxious Guido voice does grate on you after a while. But thankfully he learned after doing Minute to Win It to tone that down a bit. I also like the format of the show, especially since it's the only Food Network game show that actually has something that actually has you rooting for the contestants, especially in the form of a bonus game. Sure, it's derivative from Supermarket Sweep, it's just their 3 lists expanded to 10, but I actually like that bonus idea for Supermarket Sweep, and I also love it here on Guy's Grocery Games. It's a great hour of fun, and it really washes the taste out of your mouth from a cutthroat kitchen, or especially a kitchen casino. So that's my number 5 pick. My number 4 pick is 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, which is responsible for some of the funniest moments in game show history in the game shows this year. Like I said, if I stumble on my words, this is unscripted. Essentially, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown is basically taking Countdown and just taking the piss out of it with the people from 8 out of 10 Cats. Jimmy Carr is excellent as a host. I love John Richardson and Sean Locke. Not really keen on Lee Mack because he's kind of a twat. I'm glad they have Susie Dent and Rachel Riley on there, especially Rachel because she knows how to play off of Jimmy, and Susie's starting to get in that mold, playing off of Sean, John, and Jimmy, and especially Joe Wilkinson. And that leads to some of my funniest moments in game shows this year, is especially the recent batch of episodes that we got over the summer, where Joe Wilkinson was quote-unquote fired from the show. And so he had to do a lot of odd jobs, so to speak, and one of the odd jobs involved having to become a, extra on The Only Way is Essex, and involved him getting brained by 4 chairs, well, at least being slammed by 4 chairs on his back. And it's something very cathartic, because I always found Joe Wilkinson to be kind of annoying. But hey, it worked, and honestly, I liked him better. Well, I can't really say that because I never really seen 8 out of 10 Cats that much. I think I only saw about 2 or 3 episodes. I just find 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown to be funnier, especially in a staid arena that is Countdown. Being made to take the piss out of it like Saints Row 4. It's just a very funny show, and you're going to get an hour's worth of entertainment just from watching 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. For proof, look up the clip, and I think either Christian Carrion or Corey Annotato posted it. It's where he actually brings out 8 out of 10 cats during a distraction. Oh, that's right, I forgot. When they go into the game, when you have the 30 seconds to come up with a word, Jimmy or Rachel will do some sort of hilarious bit. One of the moments, the most infamous moments, I think it's got about 1 million views on YouTube, where Jimmy actually brings out 8 out of 10 cats in baskets. It got the usually reliable John Richardson to just shut down. And the moment comes when he's got to put him back, but they don't want to leave. And it had the place rolling for about 2 to 3 minutes straight. Sean, John, and everybody else who was playing the game were just laughing their asses off. And to be honest, I was laughing my ass off too, because it was that great of a moment. I'm glad it's coming back in December, and I do see a really long run for 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. At least until 8 out of 10 Cats goes away. Then I'm assuming 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown will go away too. Must be kind of wish Jimmy Carr actually did take over for Jeff Stelling after he left, and now we got Nick Cure. I don't know why. Or maybe get Alexander Armstrong to host Countdown now. Well, he's doing everything else. My number 3 pick is Jeopardy. Now, Jeopardy came out with their 30th anniversary. They went all gangbusters, and it worked big time. You had big-time stories in the Decades tournament that saw, well, basically the third decade pretty much school everybody else. The 2-match finale is great Jeopardy watching with Roger Craig, Ken Jennings, and Brad Rutter. I was in Baltimore during the entire tournament was happening, actually the last week, so I actually got to watch the finale happen, and I was shocked too when Ken blew it. Ken blew that final Jeopardy question, meaning Brad now retakes the gigantic game show Hall of Fame spot, being the biggest winner in history. And everything just seemed to work for Jeopardy this time around. Even the news that broke that we got Sports Jeopardy coming in September. I also put it at the number 3 spot because I like to see a show stick to their guns, so to speak. Especially with the Emancipation Proclamation scandal that came out over the summer when they had Kids Week. What happened was a kid misspelled emancipation, and it changed the pronunciation of it. So you couldn't take it. It's written in the rules. It can't be taken. Even former contestant said, he got it wrong. And you get an uninformed public saying, oh, that's close enough. Just give him the money. Well, here's one problem with that. He would have been dusted by $30,000 already. Because the kid that actually did win had him covered 4-1. And that kid doubled his money, or actually added another $30,000, winning over $67,000 in the game. That's the highest amount ever won by a kid player, and I think that's 5th all-time. 5th or 4th all-time for highest score. Andy Richter, I think he got $68,000. The kid got $67,600. Ken Jennings got $75,000. Roger Craig's got the highest at $77,000. And I also love the storylines going with Arthur Chu and Julia Collins. I'm pretty sure I probably screwed up the name. I think it is Julia Collins, though. I'm pretty sure somebody will correct me. But those storylines were great for Jeopardy because they were something that Jeopardy hasn't had in a while, and that is long-running champions. We've seen 5, 6, 7-time champions over the past 2-3 years, but we never got ones that actually were up to like 10, 12, 15. Julia got up to 19 before she was finally defeated. And I gotta say, that was some of the best Jeopardy watching, especially in the last 4 months of the season. Excellent games were being played. The tournament was amazing. And I see this lasting long for Jeopardy, even though Alex Trebek's probably only got a couple more years left before he finally retires. Which means that we're probably either going to get Jeff Probst to host the show, or maybe Sports Jeopardy is a trial for Dan Patrick. If that does well, I think Dan Patrick takes over for Alex Trebek in Jeopardy. Who knows? My number 2 spot is At Midnight. I love this show. I love stupid comedy game shows. I love Street Smarts. I love Beat the Geeks, even though that's not really stupid. But I also love smart game shows. I also love Idiot Savants, too, even though it was kind of stupid in its own right. At Midnight to me is just hilarious. Sure, it's a game show, not really a game show. It's on Comedy Central, whose only real game show success was Win Ben Stein's Money. I really love this show. I love Chris Hardwick as host. I just love the atmosphere of it, taking the piss out of social media. And all of the stupid memes and the stupid people that do it. Hell, one of my favorite games is Sweet Emoji. I love Sweet Emoji. I love Kesha, or one of my favorite ones is Kesha or Truck Stop Bathroom. That's always a great one. Cringeworthy is a favorite of mine. They just have a lot of great games on the show, and they know what they're talking about and love what they're doing when it comes to doing a game show like this. I gotta bring up Chris Hardwick's evolution as a host. Trash, that was awful. Singled out, he's perfect as that snarky guy. Shitmates was... Ugh. And he even said himself, he hated doing Shitmates. I think in some interviews he actually called it Shitmates. And now you have him at Midnight. He's goofy, he's funny. I love Chris Hardwick on this show because he's around. It's like a nerd game show with social media, all that fun stuff. I also got the great news. We also saw the great news that it got renewed for another season, which will take place January 2015. There's a few more weeks left because they will take a lot of breaks during this time because usually they take breaks with Daily Show and Colbert Report. Well, no longer Colbert Report. It's going to be something else in September because Colbert is going to do CBS and to take over for Letterman. Is he taking over? Yeah, he is taking over for Letterman. It's just a great show, and I hope you watch it. And you do play along with the hashtag wars, which is probably the best example of fan interaction that I've seen in a long time. We've seen the the play along games with GSN's originals, and the late night, ultra late night play at home games that they had with Quiz Nation, Play Mania, and 100 Winners. I just think At Midnight does it better. Twitter's... I'm running out of things to say about Midnight. I just think it's great. Everybody should watch it. I also want everybody to watch the #1 show, and that is The Chase. I mean, it's the quintessential perfect game show right now because it's got the right amount of funny moments when it comes to the interaction between Brooke Burns and Mark Labette the Beast. And it's a game show that actually harkens back to what the Quizzer should be. No nonsense. Actually, not no nonsense whatsoever because they have fun with the questions. But it's just a great Quizzer, and I love the fact of beating a know-it-all to win everything. It was great in the UK, and it's great here. I gotta give much love to Bob Bowden, who's the executive producer of this version of the show, and it's been doing gangbusters, especially for GSN, getting 818,000 viewers for a network that's happy if you do 400,000. And it's kind of elevated the level, along with the American Bible Challenge, and as much as I begrudgingly say it, Skin Wars. Getting it to a higher level, and that's what I love. I want more people to watch GSN, especially for the good shows like American Bible Challenge, The Chase, especially Idiot Test, that which is one of my favorite shows, but I can't put on the top 5 because it debuted too late. It'll probably be on the list next year. I love the format. What kind of makes me mad is that I don't know if they purposely do this, but they kind of pair up one of the smart people with two dum-dums to try to harken them down. I saw that with Christian's episode. There was an episode this prior where you had one guy just blaze through, take the 90,000, bring it home, and get bogged down because his partner did nothing. She took the low offer and did nothing in the final chase. Same thing with Christian's partners did, except... I don't know. Beast is now 6-1 right now in the season, which is really good with 6 episodes to go. I have a strong feeling he's going to get 10 wins. I just have that feeling he's going to get 10 wins. I want to talk about Brooke. If there is a Most Improved Host award, I'm giving it to Brooke. Because she was awful on Dog Eat Dog. She was unbearable on Hole in the Wall. And she was on Hair Battle Spectacular. But Brooke is great as a host on The Chase. I think it has to do with the people that are around her. Because Bob Bone loves game shows. And he knows how to mold hosts. We kind of saw that with Kennedy, Mark L. Wahlberg, because he was senior VP of GSN at the time. When Friend or Foe, Russian Roulette, Lingo, Win Tuition, but those had, Lingo, Win Tuition had seasoned hosts. And Kennedy was great on Friend or Foe. And even on that one episode where she did Win Tuition. She's coming into her own when it comes to The Chase. It's just amazing. I love the set. I just love everything about The Chase, which is basically where I'm getting at here. The Chase is the best show of 2013-2014. At midnight second, Jeopardy third, 8 out of 10 Kids does countdown fourth, Guys Grocery Games wraps up at the 5 spot. Well, that's going to do it for this special top 5. I hope you enjoyed my little rambling. Next time I do a top 5, which will probably be in about a week or so, top 5 poker shows of the top 5 poker shows of all time. Because I love poker, you love poker. Poker, poker, poker. See you next time. Bye.